It's question one, a know-it-all. Kicking off right now.
I want it all, and I want it now.
Know-it-all. First thing.
You know what I didn't catch and bring in from last week was Alec Baldwin was holding the gun when it went off. Okay, no such thing. You pulled the trigger. The FBI conclusively said he pulled the trigger because they tried dropping it. The Colt Peacemaker single action gun tried dropping it, tried everything. It was a functioning weapon. You're not holding it and went off without you helping it go off by pulling the trigger. And so I didn't catch what was the gun wrangler Gutierrez. Her sentence is 18 months.
I think that's right. Yeah,
something like that. And never handle guns again. She'll never be hired again. Thing two. So
second thing.
How about felonies? Block my Uber from dropping me off at SeaTac. Felony for you, sir.
We do not support you interrupting the lives and safety of your fellow citizens.
Republican Representative Spencer Hutchins has renewed his call for a new law, one that would make intentionally obstructing a freeway a felony. He and other lawmakers...
Just for pure civility, I think it should be a felony to do that. And if there is an ambulance with a patient, then, yeah, you're harming a life. You're harming someone, and you're hiding behind the First Amendment, which has nothing to do with you blocking legal passageway on a taxpayer-subsidized drop-off point at SeaTac or 520. So, thing three.
Third thing.
Imagine finding out who the entire Kennedy clan is in Philadelphia today. They're going to endorse, and it's not going to be their brother running against Joe Biden. It's, in fact, going to be Joe Biden. But that's not the surprising part. The surprising part is that vocal tick that he has apparently runs in the family, evidently.
Later today in Philadelphia. Tell me about it.
Well, first of all, Joe, thank you so much for showing that clip and for your years and years and years of support of everything that we do.
This is Carrie Kennedy, and might I add, there's a striking family resemblance, shall we say. There's a toothy family resemblance from them.
And you're such kind and heartfelt warmth towards my father and my family. We also appreciate it. And you too, Mika.
And here's the warm words. Are about to drop a cold one.
Thank you. We're here in Philadelphia with my siblings and representing my first cousins, all of whom, with the exception of two, all who are legally able are supporting Joe Biden for re-election. And we're doing that because we feel that the stakes are so high. You know, of Daddy, in which he said, I cannot stand aside. And
I know it's hard to get through. I got to say, you're delivering a cold one to your own brother. Wouldn't you just out of sake of having him get off the illusion that he has a viable chance, talk him out of it and say, you're kind of making yourself look stupid here. But I'll stop it when she says shing, chong, ching.
We cannot stand aside when we're up against a man who says he wants to be a dictator on day one, who says he's going to change the Constitution so he can go after his enemies, who's cozied up to dictators from Putin to Xi Jinping and Kim Xi Jinping.
So anyway, the president canceling a meeting with Xing Chongqing because there's no such person. Thing three.
I think we're already on number 4.
Or are we?
Fourth thing.
Well, I think your count is wrong. You're counting like Xing Chongqing.
Xi Jinping.
So there. So Mike Gallagher, the Republican from Wisconsin, resigning tomorrow, gave some details. I hadn't heard this. And it was a detail. I mean, a story sort of in the background that a congressman is resigning. Well before election, and that means one fewer Republican. But it's what he said.
And with just days until he leaves his seat in Congress, Representative Mike Gallagher is shedding some light on his resignation.
Yeah, Gallagher announced in February that he would not be seeking re-election. Then in March, he said he would be resigning his seat effective April 19th. Fox 11's Emily Matesic has more on what Gallagher said today as he prepares to leave office.
So listen to him. He drops swatting and death threats. And it seems to me like that would have been news if a Republican congressman had been swatted in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or the suburb of that he lives in Wisconsin.
In one of his last acts in Congress, Mike Gallagher from Wisconsin's 8th District chaired a House Select Committee hearing on China's possible connection to fentanyl overdoses in the U.S. After the hearing, Gallagher spoke with a couple of reporters about the hearing and the end of his time in Congress.
This is more just me wanting to prioritize being with my family and, I signed up for the death threats and the late night swatting, but they did not. And for a young family, I would say this
late night
the show was
swatting.
really.
Xing Zhang Ching.
I hadn't heard that, but so anyway, there he goes. Now you know what he sounds like before he's gone tomorrow. And so anyway, one less Republican vote. Not that it matters much. The speaker, Mike Ching Chong Ching, is going to try to separate the funding for Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel, and pass them as three separate funding things. It's an arcane detail that most of you don't know or don't care about, and so I won't waste your time with it. And is it the end of the bikini barista? Has Everett had it up to here, being known around the world for nothing but that one time that barges full of hippie haters from Seattle went up there and beat striking commies in like 1905. Remember that? And that you can get coffee delivered to you by a woman wearing thoroughly inappropriate for the time of year coffee wear.
Fifth thing.
We don't know. We don't know.
In Everett earlier tonight, City Council voted unanimously to adopt a new ordinance that would force them to cover up minimally. The change comes after the city's former dress code was ruled as unconstitutional.
Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman spoke with a stand owner who sued the city. So, Allie, what does she have to say tonight?
So, I mean, if you want your employees to do business voluntarily, if you want to work here, you have to wear a bikini. You can either come to work tomorrow or not. That's legal. And if you don't want to go there and get coffee, you don't have to. I don't get it. And I've never been in Everett at a time when I was drinking coffee, like midday or whatever, for whatever reason. So I've never enjoyed the bikini baristas, only the B-roll that you see on TV. But Greg, you're a big fan of them. Is the coffee better?
What? Excuse me? We have a bikini barista about 10 minutes away from our house, and we drive by it on occasion just because.
But you live in Renton.
It's on the way to different places that we're heading, and my wife and I are kind of always creeped out by them. One time she saw a truck spend way too long there and then circled back around for a second trip while she was waiting at a stoplight.
I want a refill.
I just don't think it breeds healthy activity for a community, the objectification, the raw objectification of women. There's something called community decency.
Nothing highlights the difference between the visualization and fantasization of men and women than the fact that if there is a Speedo, if there is a women-friendly dude in Speedo barista, drive-through barista, I'm unaware of it. Certainly, I don't think that women aren't lookers. They're not. They don't take that visual snapshot that the typical male pig does.
Well, she actually tells me that she actually helped the city of Everett draft up this new dress code ordinance after her lunch.
But it is weird to me that why is it that there's such a concentration in Everett? Because I do have occasional cause to go to Everett, and it is weird that it doesn't exist with the concentration that it does at say in Shanghai or Beijing.
Xing Zheng Zheng.
So anyway, there you go. I'm gonna play the crap out of that today.